pick your nose on camera today.
Yes.
Good morning, Henry County students and staff. This is Principal Shannon Sagasser with today's Wildcat News. Students, every single day going to remind you about meal pickups. That's breakfast and lunch daily, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can grab that at Eastern Elementary School, Newcastle Elementary School, or here at the high school. Big congratulations goes out to the varsity football team on their big 37-7 victory over Atherton on Friday night. Also, congratulations to the boys and girls soccer team for their weekend battles with Anderson County and Spencer County respectively. Fortunately, there wasn't a win or a loser, but battled hard at 1-1 ties. The boys golf team's in action tonight against conference foe Trimble County. That's at the Henry County Country Club. The girls golf team travels over to Warsaw to take on Gallatin County. That action's happening over at Sugar Bay. The volleyball Cats are in action. They're going to serve it up tonight at 6 o'clock at home against North Bullets. Congratulations to all our Wildcats and good luck in their endeavors tonight as they take on their opponents. That's all the Wildcat news that I have for today. We're going to swing it over to Mr. Robbins with Rapping with Robbins. Mr. Robbins?
Thank you, Mr. Sagasser. First off, I want to throw a big shout out and a big happy birthday to our man, Mr. Webster. Today he is turning 27, so happy birthday, Mr. Webster. Hopefully you have a great night. I know you said you wanted to go hunting with your son, so I think that'd be awesome. Another big shout out to the McAllister boys on Friday. Looked like Mom had them going. They might have been struggling a little bit getting their work done, but heard a lot of good feedback from them and Mom, and it looks like they did a great job on Friday getting their work done early. So I'm proud of you McAllister boys. Being able to get outside and play with your buddies on that afternoon was beautiful. Another big shout out to our sports programs. It seems like I like listening to the news that Mr. Sagasser brings every day with sports or the day before. And big shout out to you guys, man. Big win on Friday. Sounds like the other teams, soccer teams, are playing really well. Volleyball team has some key games coming up. So proud of all you all. It's good to see sports again. So again, proud of you and look forward to this Saturday night. I know we got a big football game going down against, I think it's number 2 team in the state in DeSalle. So looking forward to all that. Next thing I want to do, I want to bring a little positive side to the day. So I'll read you a little story and at the end tell you kind of the moral of that story and where we're at now in these days and with life. So there were 2 frogs that were traveling through the woods. 2 of them, as they were going, fell into this deep pit. When the other frogs crowded around the pit and saw how deep it was, they told the 2 frogs that there was no hope for them to ever be able to get out again. However, the 2 frogs decided to ignore what the others were saying and proceeded to try and jump out of the pit. Despite their efforts, the group of frogs at the top of the pit were saying that they should just give up. So they were giving a lot of negative feedback to just say, hey, you're not going to make it. That they would never make it out. Eventually, one of the frogs took heed to what they were saying, and he gave up and he fell to his death. The other frog continued to jump as high as he could. Again, the frogs kept yelling at him to stop and just let the pain go and just die. Continued giving the negative feedback. He jumped even harder and finally made it out. When he got out of the pit, the other frogs said, "Did you not hear us?" And the frog explained to them that he was deaf, that he couldn't hear anything they were saying. He thought they were trying to encourage him the whole time. So he finally made it out. The moral of the story is, guys, people's words, our words, can have a big impact on affecting other people's lives. Think about what you say before it comes out of your mouth, and try to be a little bit more positive and negative, because it might just be the difference between life and death and the people around us. We're always looking for encouragement. So think before we act. That those words can go a long way with other people. So that's my positive note for the day. I'm going to go into some push-up challenges. So if y'all get the video, I got a couple of videos from Friday. I had challenged Miss Boyer. So let me pull this up real quick, Cam. And I'll show you Miss Boyer's push-ups. So it was hers, doing it with her son. I thought that was pretty cool and impressive. So her challenge from Miss Boyer is going to go out to Dallin Fitzgerald. So Dallin, if you're watching, you've been challenged by Miss Boyer, 20 push-ups. Our next one goes out to, let me get it real quick. Was Mr. Burton. So there you go, Mr. Burton, representing Henry County as staff, getting down doing his push-ups, which is pretty impressive. So there's his push-ups, and his challenge goes out to Mr. Powell. So Mr. Powell, you've been challenged by Mr. Burton for 20 push-ups. I'll do mine. And before I do that, my challenge after my push-ups will go out to Miss Alicia McAllister. So Miss McAllister, hey, your boys did what they needed to do on Friday to get their homework done, so boom, time to step it up, get some 20 push-ups. So here's mine. There's 20, so that's repping with Robbins. Thank you, Mr. Sager.
Thank you, Mr. Robbins. That's quite the challenge in there. So we got Mr. Fitzgerald, you've been challenged. Mr. Powell, you've been challenged. And Miss McAllister, you've been challenged. I also want to throw a shout out to McKinley Painter. I went by today his classroom, and he challenged himself to do some great push-ups. So good job, McKinley. Our next segment is with Mr. Sutley. Sutley Circle.
All right, thanks, Mr. Sagasser. I don't know what it is about today, but apparently the most inspirational thing that Mr. Robbins or I could say to you today must involve frogs. So today's Monday, it's our first show of the week. I like to do a literary exercise, give you some inspiration, something to think about. And this inspirational story is about two frogs. So Robbins had more than two frogs, but nonetheless, frogs. So here's some more frog inspiration for you all. Two frogs fell into a bucket of milk. Both tried to jump to freedom, but the sides of the bucket were steep and no foundation was to be had on the surface of the liquid. Seeing little chance of escape, the first frog soon despaired and stopped jumping. And after a short while, that frog sunk to the bottom and eventually drowned. The second frog also saw no likelihood of success, but he never stopped trying. Even though each jump seemed to reach the same inadequate height, he kept struggling. Eventually, his persistent efforts churned some milk into butter. From the now hardened surface of the milk, he managed to leap out of the bucket. So students, the moral of this story is it's all about perseverance. And I know that we're in a situation that's difficult, and you were kind of over that excitement phase where we get to go back to school, we get to see our teachers, we get to see our friends. So we're kind of in a stage where it's tough to keep going, it's tough to find that motivation. So I wanted to bring this story about perseverance to you today to let you know that, you know, a Monday, it's one of those days where you got to pick yourself up and motivate yourself to keep going, keep putting in the effort, keep doing the things that you need to do to be successful. Don't quit, all right? You might have to alter some things that you're doing, the way that you're doing them, but keep going. And I was talking to Mr. Holland today, or Major Holland today, and he was echoing the same sort of thing about students were struggling. And one thing that he said that really stuck with me is we just have 2 weeks more of school before we get to be back together in person in some sort of fashion. So keep pushing hard, keep doing what you have to do. If you have to adjust how you're doing things, then make that adjustment, but be successful by persevering. So, Sagasser, that's all I have. Back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Sutley. I guess I might be feeling a little bit froggy now with those great frog stories. So thanks, guys. Well, that wraps up today's Wildcat News. We appreciate everybody being with us. I hope you have an extremely blessed day. So for Mr. Robbins, Mr. Sutley, Cam the intern, and JTB, hope everyone has a great day. Thanks.